Mr. Reese, and today we're going to be taking a look at the iPhone 7 Plus. We're going to see what's inside the box, and I'm going to determine if it's a good idea to upgrade if you have an iPhone 6 Plus. Not a 6S Plus, but a 6 Plus. Let's get started, and let's see what's in this box. Alright, let's open this box. And there's no phone here. There is the literature packet, which has all of the warranty information, how to use it, and Apple stickers. Can't forget about those Apple stickers. Here we have the iPhone, which I have to tilt out, I guess. It is already on because I had to set it up at the Sprint store. They wouldn't let me leave unless I actually could make a phone call. So there's that. Here we have the power adapter. Over here we have the new Lightning enabled earpods, since the iPhone 7 Plus does not have a headphone jack. But if you have old headphones that you want to use, don't worry, there is an adapter in the back, and it's not ridiculously expensive to replace it. It's usually around $9, which is still kind of expensive, but it's not the end of the world. The media tries to make it feel like a bad thing to not have a headphone jack. And then the last thing in the box is the Lightning cable, which is the same length as usual. I wish it was as long as the Apple Watch cable, but people can dream. So that's what's in the box. Let's take a look at the phone and see what it has to offer. Okay, so here's the phone. The finish looks a lot better than the iPhone 6 Plus. It's a lot darker, the metal, and I kind of like that. It looks nicer. The problem is fingerprints are attracted to this like a magnet. The phone feels a little heavier. I do have a glass screen protector on it, so that may be contributing a little bit. The SIM card tray is over here. On and off buttons are here. Nothing at the top. Mute switch is right here. Volume up and down. A speaker grill here, which is not a speaker, it's just for the microphone, and it's just so that it looks uniform. Lightning port and a speaker here. On the front, a speaker also is at the top. It normally is for phone calls. However, it is also used as a secondary speaker, so whenever you're watching a movie and you have your phone sideways, the sound will come from both sides, and it sounds pretty good. Let's take a look at the back of the phone. Right here we have our new tritone flash. I call it tri because I know it's 4 LEDs, but it just sounds better as tri. A small microphone next to the camera. The camera is milled out of the aluminum, so there's no metal ring here. This is part of the body of the iPhone. So here we have our two cameras. This one's a regular camera and this one's a telephoto lens. Telephoto lens does not have optical image stabilization, so whenever you take a picture or you're going to take a video, you don't want to zoom in too far because it's going to be very shaky unless you've got a tripod or something to make it look a little better. But that's the main reason I got this phone, is for these cameras and the cool effect that they can do. So on the front again, we have a 7 megapixel front facing camera for FaceTime. It looks a lot better than the old one, and that's a good improvement. So yeah, let's get into the software and let's see what that has to offer. I mean, the shell is a lot better looking than the old iPhone 6 Plus, and yeah, there's no headphone jack, but you're gonna have to get used to that if you're going to move along and forward in buying new phones, because even the Galaxies are going to not have a headphone jack next year. So, alright, let's look at the software. When you first pick up your iPhone 7 Plus, you'll realize that the screen will turn on automatically. This is a good thing and a bad thing. If you're in a dark place and you pick up your phone and then the screen turns on, it gets kind of annoying, and it does waste your battery faster than if you did not have that function on. But I do like it because the Touch ID is much faster on this phone. So if I turn on my iPhone 6 Plus on the left and my iPhone 7 Plus on the right, come on. Alright. If I click the home buttons at the exact same time and I move my finger away, this one will still be, locked, which is good. The iPhone 7 Plus, no. It's just automatically open. So I do find that feature is probably a good thing. So, and let's talk about the home button too, before I really go any further. The home button is not a physical home button anymore. It is like the new trackpad on the newer Macs. It uses the Taptic engine inside the phone to simulate a button click. This is something that I really had to take some time to get used to, but yeah, other than that, if you treat it as a button, it will feel like a button. But if you try and wear gloves and click the button, it's not going to really work for you. It needs to sense, the electricity that the human body has. It needs to know that you're actually touching it. So that's the only downside of this button, because it's not real. So, yeah, using this with gloves, not possible. At least I don't think so. So yeah. Also, if you're coming from a 6 Plus, like me, the new thing to you will be Force Touch, or 3D Touch is what they call it. Allows you to have different functions on every app. So, if I press real hard on Pages, it gives you an option. If I press real hard on Settings, it gives you a bunch of options. If I press real hard on YouTube, it gives you a few options. Netflix, and so on and so forth. Some things don't actually have a function. Hold on, let me find one that doesn't actually have a function. Nope, that has a function too. Well, I guess I really don't have any apps that don't have a function. They all do something, or whenever you force touch them. Also, whenever you pull up the control center, whenever you do the force or 3D touch on the light or the flashlight, it gives you high, medium, and low for the brightness, which is really nice. Also, I do realize whenever you are going to go and delete an app, and you not press and hold, but I guess press and hold. It hold on, I'm trying to get it to do it. I don't know why it's not doing it. Probably doesn't want me to delete Pages. There we go. It makes a vibration to let you know that you've done something. It doesn't feel so flat as a iPhone 6 Plus does. And what I mean by flat is whenever you click a button on an iPhone, on the screen, it doesn't really feel as if you actually did anything. On this phone, whenever you flip a switch, it makes a vibration, so it feels like you actually did something. I do like that, and it's a good feature on this phone. And now that we've talked about the 3D touch, I want to talk about the camera and the reason I got this phone. So let's look at that. The camera can now zoom an incredible amount. So let me move this iPhone box back a little ways, and let me zoom in on it, and zoom in on it, and zoom in. This works better on things that are farther away, but as you can tell, my hands are a little shaky and it is moving a little bit. Now, if I bring it back enough, whenever I zoom out, my hands are shaking a little bit, but you really don't see that movement anymore. That's because whenever I'm zooming in, it switches from one camera to another, which is what it's supposed to do. Now, it does have a new effect on it called parallax, which, hold on 1 second, let me click cancel, which allows you to take pictures like this. I'm not an alcoholic, but this is the closest thing I could find to demonstrate it to somebody. And right here at the bottom, the wine glass is clear, but everything else in the background is blurry. And it's really hard to do that with a phone camera and any other camera if it's not a DSLR that has a special lens for this. Or not a special lens, but because you can do this with a DSLR. But you need a DSLR type camera to get this kind of effect. And this is the reason I got this phone, is because I like this effect and I like to take pictures with it. It is a very big benefit above everything else. This camera really makes me feel like I spent my money well on this phone. Sorry for the long pause there, but yeah, it makes me feel like the money that I spent on this phone was worth it. And for most people that probably won't be the case, because you're not trying to be a photographer or anything like that, but that's mainly the reason I got this phone. It has a lot of good features in it that are really hard to cover. Siri now comes up whenever you just talk to the phone. You don't have to have it plugged in, so you could say, "Hey Siri, open the pod bay doors."
I'm sorry, Wolf. I'm afraid I can't do that. Are you happy now?
So it does hear you, and it can hear you from across the room, and you don't have to worry about anybody else setting it off, because traditionally whenever you set up "Hey Siri," I had to say it slow because I didn't want it to activate, it would only recognize your voice. And that's the same on the older iPhone. It's just the older iPhone had to be plugged in the entire time, and this one does not, which is fantastic. So Siri is much better on this phone. Voiceover wise, I mean, I can't get the voice I want, which is upsetting. For some reason I can't download the version, like the high quality version of the voice I want. So that's a little upsetting, but it's okay. And as I said before, this phone is a fingerprint magnet. I've only been holding it for 4 minutes, and there's already a lot of fingerprints all over it. So yeah, this phone is good. I would not say, if you had a 6S Plus, I would not say to upgrade. It's probably not worth it, unless you really want the camera like I did. It's really not worth an upgrade. And if you have a 7 and you're going to get a 7 Plus, or not a 7, sorry, if you have a 6S and you want to get a 7 Plus just for the camera, it's a good upgrade. You get a bigger screen, you get bigger battery, everything's a little bigger, and I just don't know why everybody gets the smaller phones. Probably because it's easier to fit in your pocket, but the bigger phone, bigger display, better for watching movies, better for pretty much everything. And that's why this phone is here. And I do want to address the headphone jack. People are going to say that, oh, well, that phone's not really that great because it doesn't have a headphone jack. Well, the thing with that is the headphone jack is really, really, really old. It's been around for a long time. And I believe it is a good thing that it is gone. Yes, I know you need to use an adapter to plug it in, and you can't really listen to music while your phone is charging, but if you have Bluetooth headphones, you're fine. I mean, there's really nothing to it. Unless you're an audiophile and you really, really want your music to come in good, just use the adapter in the box and plug it into your old headphones and you'll be fine. If you can't, or if you want to listen to it while it's charging, get one of these. Let's say a charging dock. Put your phone on it, and in the back it has a place for your headphones. So, I mean, everybody makes it a big deal that this phone does not have a headphone jack. It's not important. I mean, I don't think it's important. I listen to music every once in a while. I mean, people who are big audiophiles, just get one of these and you're fine. Or get one of the mini adapters that are starting to come out. Or just use the one in the box. Put it on the end of your headphones and forget about it. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on my headphones and forget about the little plug. It'll just become normal. It works with your iPad. It works with any of your other Apple devices except for, obviously, your Mac. But it'll work for your Apple devices because it's on iOS 10. If you have it on anything lower, like an iOS 8 or something like that, it's really not going to work because the device doesn't know how to communicate with it. So that's what I have to say on the headphone jack. And that's really all I have to say about this phone. I mean, I could say more, and that it does this and that, and that it has a good processor and all this other stuff. I really don't care about that. I care about the way somebody who's average is going to look at this. If you're a camera person, it's good for the camera. If you're the kind of person who wants a bigger screen, it's good for a bigger screen. If you already have a bigger screen and you don't feel like you want to upgrade, then you're good. If you have a 6S Plus, then you really don't need to upgrade unless you want the camera. I mean, the antenna band lines are gone, but that's really the only change you're going to see on the outside, other than the color and the camera. The camera change is a change, and the color is a change. So, if I were to say you have a 6 Plus, like this one, upgrade. It's worth it. But 6S Plus, no. Just wait one more year. There's a good phone coming out next year. The iPhone 8 or the iPhone 7S. It's going to be better. It's going to be the 10th anniversary of the iPhone, and it has a lot of things in store, from what I hear. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. I know I may have been back and forth and all that on this, but I don't like to plan my videos. I like everybody to know my impression as it comes to me, so that it feels more real and not scripted. So, as I said, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope that you've learned something from it. And I hope that you subscribe, click the little bell, and I will see you in the next video.